wanted to get on here and do a live stream and have a conversation. So much crazy going on in the world of sports and entertainment. So, wanted to start this off by talking about SGA's record that he broke Will Chamberlain's scoring streak of 20 points for over 126 games, I believe, which is absolutely amazing. You're talking, 2 seasons worth of games. I mean, that's phenomenal. I know in the NBA, that a lot of teams don't play defense. I get that. But regardless, it's still an awesome record to break. So a lot of credit goes to him and his hard work and his dedication to winning. He doesn't care about personal accolades as much as he cares about winning championships, and that's nice to see from a player. It is not your goal to want to win championships. It should be, but more or less nowadays, I feel like people that are professional athletes rather get a good payday than win a championship, to be honest. So the Celtics had two real gut wrenching losses to the Spurs and to OKC Thunder. I think Boston's going to be very dangerous, and you know they're missing at the moment Jason Tatum. He's back, but I guess it's like rest day, and Derek White. When Boston has those two guys in the lineup, to go with everything else they have, I mean they're a very dangerous team. I've stated before, I feel like it's going to be Detroit versus Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals, and the winner will go to the NBA Finals. The West, it's a little more uh, complicated because you got OKC. Good morning. Welcome on to the live stream this morning. And everyone else watching, appreciate you being here. So, West, it's like I said, it's very complicated. You have Oklahoma City Thunder, they're champs. Then you got Denver, who's been there. You can't discredit Denver. They're healthy with Joker leading the way. They're dangerous. Yeah, you gotta have them as a major threat for the to make it to the finals from the West. Minnesota has the potential to get there. Ant Man has to lead them though. And then, if the Lakers can play defense, it'd be dangerous. I mean, look at all the firepower they have offensively with Luca, LeBron, and Reeves, but they don't play defense. What's the old saying? Defense wins championships? Hello. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't want to discredit the Rockets because they are good, but Durant is the only one with huge playoff experience there. Is that going to be enough to get them to the finals? I don't think so. So yeah, it'll be fun for sure to see how it all plays out. And the Spurs are really good, but they're really young. So we'll find out when they into the playoffs because a lot of them don't have any playoff experience. See how they handle it. Because right now they're the number 2 seed. So NBA playoff basketball is real fun, and that'll start next month. Moving on to NFL free agency. Boy, oh boy. Depending on what team you like, you could be very excited right now or, very unimpressed. So, me, like in the Commanders, I'm very excited for all the moves we made on the defensive side of the ball, and we need to get younger. Look, no disrespect to Bobby Wagner, okay? First ballot Hall of Famer, phenomenal. But when when the defense is like, hey, throw a screen pass to where Bobby is, okay? He can't stop nobody catching the ball in the middle. It's time to go. I don't think anyone's gonna honestly sign him. You know, like I said, he's great. First ballot Hall of Famer. I wish he was a little younger. I wish he still was with us, but there was a time when it's time to retire. When you can't make the plays you used to. He's like 37, I think, or he will be 37. And at linebacker, that's a hard position to play when you get to that age. Von Miller, another one, first ballot Hall of Famer, but he says he's not done yet. But how much he got left in the tank? You know, Lattimore, he was not old. Thank you. I appreciate you, bro. Really do. Thank you very much. Lattimore, not old, but it is either he gave up a huge play, a touchdown, or he got a penalty. So he was getting those stops. And when that keeps happening, that's a crutch to your defense because the quarterback's just gonna be like, or whoever Lattimore's covering, we're throwing that way. You know. So when that happens, you're not going to stop teams from putting points on the board. That's a liability for the defense. They got to go. So yeah, we got younger in the secondary. We got a new linebacker, new defensive end. You know, guys that are mid to late 20s. No one's older than like 27 that we got for the defensive side. That's huge. You have to get younger because Jane Daniels is still under his rookie contract. A couple years, that's going to be a whole different story. The way quarterbacks are getting paid right now, yeah, we got to try to win before we got to pay him that huge contract he's going to get. Look at Dak Prescott, 60 million a year. For what? I don't think he's earned that money. What he done in the playoffs? Yeah, making it to the playoffs is great, but winning in the playoffs is better. That's what the top tier guys do. Dak Prescott's been in the league for over 10 years, and what's he got? 2 playoff victories. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's just like what's the point? So yeah, if you're the Dallas Cowboys, there's not a lot to be excited about right now. Because Jerry is Jerry. Jerry gets in the way of everything for the Dallas Cowboy fans. He thinks he knows more than he does. You know, give you a prime example back when he was a lot younger. You had, you had Jimmy Johnson as your head coach. If he doesn't run Jimmy out of town, who knows how many more Super Bowls the Cowboys win? Back when they had everyone still together with Troy, Michael, Emmett, that offensive line, that defense, they might have won, you know, multiple um, more championships. So yeah, it's just like I said, Jerry gets in the Dallas Cowboys' way for everything. Like he's missed the mark in free agency. He's missed the mark in building a championship competitor. I feel like he is the type of guy that wants you talking about the Cowboys, and that's good enough for him. Making the playoffs is good enough for him. Winning the Super Bowl, he doesn't really care, which is sad. But that's Jerry Jones in a nutshell. Someone doesn't agree with that, that's a Dallas Cowboy fan, let me know. Love to talk about it. So, you so back to free agency. Then you get, you know, the whole Ravens situation. So hope some Raven fans chime in. The whole thing with Crosby, that was real crazy. But so that doesn't work out due to something sketchy with his physical. But I think ultimately it worked out. You get a different pass rusher who's 3 years older than Hendrickson, but he's still very good. You get to keep your two first round draft picks that you were going to give up for Crosby. So look at that as a win. If Hendrickson pans out the way he played a couple years prior, before last year, he was dealing with the injury. That helps the Ravens pass rush, which they need to get back to playing solid defense anyway. That's their identity. If they can do that and Lamar can find a way to win in the playoffs, Ravens should get to the Super Bowl again and win. But it's what ifs. Health is crucial for them and any other team. When it comes to playoffs, you have your health. You know, availability and executing the game plan. When you do those things, you'll win. So it just depends on all those factors. I don't know what the Bengals are going to do. I mean, if the Bengals get some defense, they'll be dangerous. If Cleveland can get a little better offensively, they could have something to say in that division. But we'll wait and see. I mean, that division's tough division, and Pittsburgh hasn't really done much. Thought they might go after Kyler Murray. And do you really want to roll with Aaron Rodgers? He's 43. Does he want to come back for another season? Don't know yet. You know, he comes back. Hey, how much you got left in the tank? I know be reunited with Mike McCarthy, but if I'm the Steelers, I want to go young. Either with one of the younger quarterbacks you have in the organization right now, and if you don't believe in them, would you draft another quarterback? But the Steelers are lacking in multiple areas. So if they can get that stuff fixed, maybe they become really relevant again. But they haven't been super relevant in a while. And that's not what Pittsburgh Steelers football is. When they are clicking on all cylinders. So we'll see what happens there. Also like the Bills. Getting DJ Moore was good. He'll definitely be the number one there. They re-signed Dawson Knox. So that will help their offense. They signed, a pass rusher, Chubb from Miami. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Hopefully, it will help their pass rush because they need that. But they've been plagued by injuries on defense the last few years. Like some of their best defensive players getting injured at the wrong times. That has a big factor, especially playoff football. Because you got to remember the NFL. You lose, there's no chance to bounce back. Basketball, baseball, football, you have series. So you lose one, it's not over. You can come back. Football's one and done. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see Drake May and Josh Allen go toe to toe the next 10 years. That division is going to be a lot better for it, I feel. If you're a Jets fan, you don't have a lot to be hopeful for because they're a mess. If you're a Dolphin fan, there's not a lot to be hopeful for either because I think Tua is going. And where he goes, I don't know. Sure, we'll get some news on that sometime soon, I would imagine. And I'm waiting to hear for the 49ers, Brandon Ayuk getting released because I'm 99% sure he's coming to the Commanders because he's best friends with Jaden Daniels. Now, should that have a huge meaning as far as him coming here? As far as team goes, you can look at it from different angles. I mean, it's Jaden's best friend. You got to take that into consideration a little bit. Yeah, probably. But the key is, from a business aspect, is he going to come in and produce? Now, if he can be what he was before his injury, that guy will help us win. You have him on one side and Terry on the other. You can't double team either. Someone's gonna have a chance to be open one on one. Terry's a great route runner. So is Ayuk when he's healthy. So looking forward to that. Definitely need to get our offensive line better to give Jaden time because Jaden got banged up too much last year. I didn't like that he missed games because of him holding on to the ball too long or lack of protection. There's a combination between the two. So I would like to see that improved. I don't want to see him get beat up like he did last year and miss games because that doesn't help us. I like Marcus Mariota as our backup. He's a solid backup for sure. But you want your starting quarterback to be starting. You know, you don't want him on the bench. So that's my hope anyway. We'll see what happens. And then the Rams, getting Trent McDuffie from the Chiefs, that will help their secondary out because I think that's the only place the Rams were really lacking. So now their secondary gets better. So I think the Rams will be back in the conversation for the Super Bowl. Definitely be interesting to see what the Bears do. I hope the Eagles suck, and I want the Eagles to do well. And I don't think they've made any splash moves yet in free agency. Still waiting to see what's going on with AJ Brown because I said before, if I'm him, I want out. Like, honestly, why would I want to be there? Can I go somewhere where the quarterback targets me way more? AJ Brown's the number one receiver on a lot of teams. So, I mean, I guess if the price is right, they'll trade him. I don't know what they're gonna look for though. They're gonna want to multiple number ones or number one in like a two or a three. I'm not sure, but yeah, he should definitely want to get out of there. He's got a ring there already. Go somewhere where he can be happier. Trying to think of teams he could go to. Like if New England got him, that would be insane. Of course, I love if he went to the Commanders or the Bills, but I know that the Eagles would not trade him in the division. And then someone like the Chargers could use him for sure. Imagine if he went to Seattle. Wow, that that would be crazy. That'd be a crazy situation out there. So with a Jigba out there and then Brown on the other side, yeah, that would be. Ooh, Sam Darnold would be having fun. Sam Darnold would be having a great day every day if he had both of them out there. That's the thing about NFL free agency. There's so much to sit back and watch and see what happens. So this thinking about the news I've heard with the Batman 2 with Robert Pattinson as Batman. They're supposed to start filming late May, but they have not gotten Christopher Dent's role filled out yet. Who's going to play him? Daniel Craig uh, said he couldn't. He's got a movie he's starting to film next year. They try to get Bill Skarsgård's dead, and he didn't want to do it. Brad Pitt said no. They need to get that figured out, because late May will be here before we know. We're right about mid March now, so that's a little concerning. They haven't got that role figured out yet. I mean, ultimately, I think they will, of course, but you know, depends on also how big his role is, how many scenes will he be in, because you need that figured out, because to get that to tie into what makes Harvey, like how that molds him into his slow descent into becoming Two-Face, because it's not just about the when he gets physically injured on his face, but it's about the emotional trauma he deals with. So between that and the physical, that's what makes him turn to Two-Face ultimately. And I heard Christopher Dent was like emotionally abusive to Harvey. I don't know if he was physical, but we all can only deal with so much abuse before we crack. So that's the way I look at it with that role for him. How much abuse did he go through? But they have to get the guy in the role for us to find out, because that's very crucial. Character development is very important, and Harvey Dent having good character development is crucial to this film, because I think Sebastian Stan will do a great job as Harvey Dent for sure, because he's a very good actor as far as I'm concerned. And then Scarlett Johansson's playing his wife. So it's different storylines with Harvey Dent's wife. Sometimes she is not the nicest person. So we'll see how that plays out. Because in the Long Halloween, she was the one, you know, making people go away. If you understand my meaning. So, but yeah, I'm gonna be a very, very excited for that movie. But we have to wait till October of next year to get that movie. So we just have to wait patiently. Like I said, it'll be over 5 years from the first movie being out. That's a long time for, especially for like a superhero movie. That's a very long time to wait. So we'll see what happens there. Like I said, I don't want to wait that long, but we don't really have a choice. So this sucks on that. And then I'll be excited for another one that's going to come out next year. uh, the Highlander reboot. There's going to be some real big names in that movie. Henry Cavill's playing Connor McLeod. One of my favorite wrestlers, Drew McIntyre, is playing, I think, Angus McLeod, Connor McLeod's cousin. Dave Bautista's playing the Kurgan. I'm fine with that. And I've said this before. I wish the height difference was more. Like Connor McLeod should be looking up to the Kurgan. 165, 163. So you're really not gonna. That's not gonna be. You're not looking up, really. So I think that was a big factor, but we're not gonna get that unless something changes, like they give, Batista like taller shoes or something to make him look bigger, or if they use the camera angles. I don't know, but I think they should make it look like there's a size difference, because 2 inches isn't going to do anything as far as that goes. And then Russell Crowe's playing Ramirez, Connor's mentor. Kind of teaches him so much about being immortal and how the rules work. So that should be really good. But that's going to be next year. Hey, how you doing today? Shout out to you. Sorry, I need to get reading glasses. Ava's no found. If I said that wrong, I apologize. Appreciate you. If you're new here, if you like my content, please like, subscribe, and share. All the support is very much appreciated, because without the support, I can't do anything with this. And I really would like this to turn into something special down the road. And also, you know, early April, definitely the first week of April, I will be sharing a very personal YouTube video for to help those that are, going through very serious health things. I want to try to help those that are going through it. So early April, we'll be sharing something very important to try to help those that are going through it. So, yeah, that's, all I have to say on that for right now. But also, everyone that's given me support, I thank you very much. Because again, without support on this platform, can't do anything. Can make content all I want, but if I have no one to support it, I can't grow it. So, thank you everyone that has had my back through this so far in this early stages of this journey. We all need support and help in different aspects of our life. So it's good to look out for each other. very, very important. So, so Highlander, yeah, can't wait for that. Like, you know, the guy who directed the John Wick movies, he's a director for that. So instead of great gunplay for this movie, we'll get great swordplay. And seeing awesome ways to shoot a gun is cool, but I'm a big sword guy, so I love seeing good sword fight scenes. You know, I just think you have to be more skilled with a sword than you do with a gun. You know, you can get a lucky shot. A sword, it's much more skill involved. So I love seeing good good fight scenes with swords because you don't see it too often. So when you get to see it, it's really awesome. At least I feel that way about it. And then I can't wait to get more information on the God of War series. Very excited for that. I do love when they do live action of video games, especially when it works out well. Because I'm sure there's a lot of fans of the God of War video game series. So we're all going to be watching very closely to see how that series turns out. Because the guy that's playing Kratos is really awesome. And I still need to watch Sons of Anarchy because the guy that played Opie in that he's the guy that's playing Kratos. And one picture they showed of him looking like Kratos was really good. So all I can ask is they do it similar to the way the game is laid out. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't succeed. I got so many different shows I need to check out that I haven't watched yet. But there's just not enough time in the day, depending on what you got going on. Like me and the missus are watching Ozark. We're about to start the last season. That's a crazy show. Jason Bateman is great in that. I think if he didn't win an award for it, he should have. Because his character deals with so much. I couldn't imagine being in his shoes dealing with what he deals with in that show. Never watched Breaking Bad. I heard that was phenomenal. It's probably similar to Ozark in some ways and obviously not in others. I haven't. I heard Tulsa King's really good. I haven't checked that out. Breacher, same thing. Yeah, lot of things I need to check out show wise for sure. Movies, there's you know so many movies coming out. Some big, some not so big. The next one that I'm like super excited for that I'm gonna geek out for is Masters of the Universe. If that movie does what I think it will, open up a door of opportunity for them to do a live action Thundercats, which I would be so excited for. Thundercats and He Man were two things I grew up with, so it'd be awesome to see for sure. So we'll see what happens there. And then I would love a live action of Castlevania. They've done anime, which was great, but I still would love to see a live action Castlevania movie for sure. And if you get the right people to play the significant major roles, it would be epic, without a doubt. So we'll see what happens there. Patience is a virtue, as they say. Can't don't want things too rushed because then it ends up not being as good as it could have been. But you don't want to take too much time either, because life passes by and then you might not get a chance to see certain movies depending. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. We all got movies we'd love to see come out, or ideas about different movies coming out and what would be awesome, or TV shows. We all have different things that entertain us, so finding those things that entertain us is the key, and sticking with it. And there's always, you know, try watching something you may not normally watch, and it might be better than you think, and you'd be glad that you did watch it. So it's just preference, what are you in the mood to watch? So it's everyone's different. Sometimes a lot of people like the same thing. Sometimes a lot of people like something different. It's just the way it is. There's no right or wrong answer to that. It's all an opinion. Talk about the things that you like with other people that are the same, and then if there's things you don't, you can explain why you like it, and maybe someone wants to try and watch that just off your explanation of it. How you how you sell the idea of getting them to watch something that you like that they may not normally like. So it's just one of those things. So I think that's going to be about it for right now. I thought this might be a good time to go live, but not a lot of traction. Everyone's schedule is different, so it's hard to know what an ideal time is to go on live streams. Because with my schedule, I'm working, 4 to 11, 4 to midnight. So, like a peak time to do this would be like early evening, but I'm at work or with the missus. I'm not gonna be able to do this when spend time with her. So, hope everyone has a blessed and happy Friday. I'll be on again possibly later tonight. Oh, what's up, party? You got any movies that you're excited to see in the near future? If so, please let me know. We can discuss it. Just don't say Scream 7 because that already came out. Is that is that movie about the officer that lost her partner? Please let me know. Because I feel like that is. I know Ready or Not. Oh, okay. Sorry, I got that wrong. Really? Okay, noted. Ready or Not 2 looks really good. I definitely want to see that because the first one was crazy. I definitely want to see Ready or Not 2 because that looks like it's just going to be absolutely insane. More people going after her and her sister. So that will that will be wild. On a big property. Looks like the movie's going to take place on. I couldn't imagine trying to avoid like 30 or 40 people that are trying to take me out just for fun. Oh, okay, yep. I know who you're talking about there, bro. Yeah. She's pretty awesome. I think Zaza Beats, I think is her name. But yeah, glad you told me that so I could take that in consideration of maybe not going to see. I heard The Bride was really bad. They only made like 7 million opening weekend. That's not good. But Ready or Not 2 will probably be the next big horror movie I feel that's coming out. I love my horror movies, so definitely looking forward to that. I think, gosh, I don't know what the after that would be. What would be the next big horror movie coming out? If you know of it, let me know. Party, please, because I know at the end of the year, the werewolf movie's coming out by Robert Eggers, which should be epic. But I know there's going to be horror movies coming out between now and then. It's just off the top of my head, I'm not sure. So maybe take a look on the old laptop, get some answers. No harm in looking up something. Hmm. Did you? I forgot to ask you, Party. Did you see Primate? I thought that was real crazy. This is not being very helpful. Yeah, no, I hear you on that because they just keep, for whatever reason, they keep failing at it. Yeah, but they're all I think different companies. And I don't know if you saw the trailer for the Mummy movie, bro, but that doesn't look like a Mummy movie. It looks like creepy, which I'm encouraged by, but not like when you think of Mummy horror movie. I don't think that looking at it. You know, I more look at like demon possession movie type situation. I don't get a mummy vibe at all. Yeah, just because it's a title doesn't mean anything. So we'll see how that plays out. But the werewolf movie, I'm really looking forward to, but that's not till Christmas. So yeah, I need that to be good for sure. Definitely need that to be good. Uh, and then the Dracula movie that's I don't know if that's coming out in theaters or going straight to streaming. But the preview I saw from it looked good. But definitely looks like a love story for sure. You know, he loses his wife, which is the norm, and then he goes centuries looking for doppelganger of his wife. So maybe they do a different version of it. Yeah, I'm going to check it out because if it is out, I want to see it. But like I feel like it went to streaming though. I know it was released in theaters like in other parts of the world, but not here for whatever reason. I don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna look into that for sure. Because if it's out, I do want to watch it. You know, the missus wouldn't care about that show like vampires. She thinks they're boring. She'd rather watch Chucky or Freddy or Jason or Michael, which I'm not mad at, but I mean, did you like it better the second time you watched it compared to the first? Okay. All right. So give me give me your rating out of 10 the first time you watched it, and then what did that go up to the second time you watched it? Yeah, missing 15 minutes definitely have an effect on that, I'm sure. Because I heard it started off pretty good, but then it went off the rails as the movie went. Okay, yeah, I mean Four is uh like on the top part of it sucks, and six is like decent. You know, seven are better is where it's like, all right, this is definitely go see this. I feel like the sequel to Ready or Not will be like a seven or an eight. At least I feel that way. I imagine the opening scene was what they showed in the preview with those two going to that into the old house. I would imagine is the opening scene, but I could be wrong. Where the girl falls off the stairs and gets the knife, which is a bad way to go. Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that was a lot of people's reaction to the ending of it, which is not what you want. You want the ending to people to be like, I need I need more. I need more of this, not what the heck happened? I don't like this. I don't care if they make another one. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. I'm sure there'll be a Scream 8. At this point it's like a cash grab for them, unfortunately. And that's not what it should be. It should just be about making a horror movie that entertains us. Yeah, yeah. I still gotta see Scream 7 so I can give you my thoughts on it. Just have to figure out when that's gonna happen. Sometimes just get so busy, don't have time to go see a movie. Um, I don't know. You know, the one that plays Wednesday, she's awesome. But the one that played the older sister, with the controversial stuff she had going on, I don't know if they would bring her back or not. You know, it had fans divided about it. There's too much divide going on as it is in the world. I always say keep keep the politics away from entertainment. I don't want politics in my entertainment. That does nothing but cause chaos and drama. Oh yeah, agreed, 100%. Yeah, a lot of people just need to zip it. Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you this, bro. If you or me did any of that crazy stuff that dude did, what would they say? Put your hands behind your back. You are getting marched right to jail. Yeah, he shouldn't be making no movies. He should be in jail. all that stuff he did, all that crazy stuff he did. Um, which character are you talking about? Which one? Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, she did. I agree. But yeah, like I just feel if you, especially if you've done like criminal things, you should not be in Hollywood making a bunch of money. And to be honest, I I could not stand that Flash movie, bro. I thought it was hot garbage. Bring Grant Gustin back. He's an awesome Flash. I love for him to come back when they do a Flash movie, or if they don't, and they have him in cameo in a different superhero movie before they do a Justice League movie. And I keep hearing all these things about the Snyderverse coming back. I'm not against that. I think Zack Snyder, you has had some real home runs, and he's had some duds, swing and a miss. But you know, I feel like everyone goes through that. Not everyone is gonna put a great movie out there for everything they do. It's and ultimately at the end of the day, it's an opinion. Like there's things that we both like, and then there's things that you know we'll look at differently as far as liking. So, but yeah, I want the Flash to be redone for sure, and not Ezra Miller. I honestly don't want to see him acting again until he gets his life together and gets all the stuff sorted out with all the stuff he's done, in his life. Because if any of us did anything like that, we would not be having the opportunity to act. We'd be in jail for multiple years. Something called accountability, which is something foreign in today's climate of the world, unfortunately. Anything else you want to speak on that, bro? Because how was that? Pretty good. What is that? What is that about? So I don't think I've heard of that. If you don't mind telling me, because there's just so many movies, it's hard to keep track of them all. Or I can try to pull that up too. Yeah, I'm not. See, I can't watch, really look up anything without having the, can't play the music in the background of watching information on it. Oh, okay. All right. I now remember this. Yeah, seems like a crazy movie. Like a movie about plastic surgery going bad. Yeah, that would cause a lot of drama for sure, especially if it made you go crazy or you suffered from it. Always a price to pay to try to look younger than what you are. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, might have to check that out. Possibly. I gotta see if the missus is on board because we see movies. It's together. I usually don't go see them by myself. So I have to see if she's on board with that. Problem is they don't keep movies in theaters as long as they used to. It's like your main movies are out for like a month or 6 weeks, and then they go to digital and then to streaming. Yeah, some movies the budget's really good, and sometimes it's not. Just depends. Just depends on the studio and how much they want to spend for a movie. Some movies don't need a huge budget. Some do. Depends on what they're trying to accomplish. Anything else you want to talk about, bro, before I wrap it up? All right. Okay. Appreciate you coming on, bro. Always appreciate the support for real. So that's gonna wrap it up for today's live stream. Um, if y'all don't know my brother, the Party Monster, please check out his channel. He's very entertaining and fun to watch. We do things a little differently. He's on the wild side. I'm on the calm side. So everyone have a blessed Friday. And then if you're new here, like, subscribe, and share to the channel. Hit the bell notifications so you can be informed. You're welcome, brother. On new content. And I do put out new content all the time because I'm trying to grow everything here. So everyone be safe, be blessed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.